Need to change my tire.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for action. Here we are, live in the flesh. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Long time no see. It is your co-host, Alex Hunt of The Daily Doe Show, and welcome back to another episode, another show. And you already know who I got with me, right next to me, living the dream. Come
Yes,
on now.
sir.
Come on now. We already got people coming in here. We got the chat going already. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing? Dom, how are you doing, man?
You know what, dude? I'm doing absolutely phenomenal today. Couldn't be better. Excited to be here, and you know what? I think we have news to speak on in all three Cleveland sports teams this time.
Isn't it a grand thing, man? I mean, what are we gonna do? Sit here and complain about having sports news all around?
Right. I know. Who's talking?
It was you. It was you.
Was that me?
It was literally you. I was playing. It was playing back on accident. But that was literally you. That was you.
I see. I was gonna say it sounded like some smart guy was talking.
Oh yeah, I bet it was the smartest guy I know, man. What's he talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, Dom, we, I mean, last time we talked, we were talking about all the moves the Guardians could have made, and now here we are on the episode about all the moves the Guardians did make.
And you know what? I think that's a great place to start. Obviously, as I mentioned, of course, we have news to speak on in all three Cleveland sports. We're gonna, of course, start with the Cleveland Guardians. Usually takes up a large portion of our show, but I mean they're in season, so I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you
can't
gonna do?
hate us. You can't hate
Right.
us. That's all I gotta say.
And honestly, we might as well follow that up with a little bit of Cavs news since they're, I mean, for once at least in a while, they have a little bit of news going on there, and we can kind of talk a little bit about what's going on there as the season approaches. And then, of course, wrap things up with the Browns, who have their season quickly approaching here in the next coming weeks. So, without further ado, Alex, let's discuss what we talked about last show, which was all the moves we thought Cleveland needed to make.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about it, and the funny thing is that obviously none of the moves that they made were any of the players that we talked about, but nonetheless, I mean, it's exciting when the Guardians make moves during the trade deadline that are buying instead of selling. You're in a good spot in life. That's all I gotta say, because last year we were in the exact opposite position.
Oh yeah,
And it feels good to be on the other side of the spectrum today. That's all I got to say. But
I agree.
nonetheless, I mean, which one do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the first trade that happened? You want to go in order, I guess so? The guy who's already gotten himself in action?
Let's go. Let's talk about Mr. Lane Thomas.
Mr. Lane Thomas. I mean, and for those of you guys who haven't known, we did post videos on that. If you saw Dom's beautiful face talking about that news, but nonetheless, Lane Thomas. I mean, a guy who on paper need Jackson Holiday. That's funny. Jackson Holiday hit a grand slam today. We'll note to that. Hopefully, he doesn't do that in this series against the Guardians. But
He did.
he hit a grand slam today. Jackson Holiday did. Yeah, his first career
Man.
home run was a grand slam today at Camden Yards.
Jackson
Yes.
Holiday,
Jackson,
really?
yes, Jackson Holiday. Yep.
Wow. That's impressive, man.
Very impressive. That's what
Very
I'm saying. I mean, but nonetheless, get off the Jackson Holiday train. That's not our
Those
our
are our
forte.
opponents.
That's
Those
not
are our
our
opponents.
not our forte. But nonetheless, you get Lane Thomas. You know, this is a guy that has battled some injuries this year, earlier in the year. So we don't look at you got to look at the backer half of his stats because he's slowly starting to progress into the dude that he was last year, and the Guardians are hoping that they can finish it.
I agree.
I mean,
he's 28 years old too, so I mean, it's not like he's 31, 32. Not that 28 to 31 or 32 is much big of a difference, but I honestly in Major League Baseball, that 3-year difference that players, age wise, that definitely makes a huge impact. And still at 28 years old, we still have control the rest of the season and through next season on his contract. So that's a bright spot there, that he'll be sticking around through the off season into next year. So hopefully he can start to kind of get more comfortable living in Cleveland and playing for this ball team, ballpark, whatever, ball club.
The ball club. It's the ball club,
but anyways, the ball club. We ended up trading a couple prospects that two names really stood out to me, which was Jose Tena, and I think it is, I don't want to say Alex Clemmie.
Yes, Alex Clemmie. It is
Clemmie, okay.
Or Clemme, or what I mean, Clemme, regardless of the fact. That one hurt a little bit, for sure. That one, I mean, all right, I'll say it to the point of Bresnahan, I think was the better version of Alex Clemme, but you lost them both, so now it kind of stings.
I agree.
So I think he was. I would have been more happy if they kept Bresnahan and lost Clemme, but they lost them both, so it kind of sucks. But nonetheless, you got to do what you got to do for the players you got to get.
I agree. And of course, those three prospects are within the Cleveland's top 30 ranked prospects. So, of course, they put a little value behind the trade, but that was to be expected. And honestly, I was expecting a larger piece to have been dealt from our farm system. And for them to have avoided any large pieces besides maybe Clemme, I'm not too disappointed, honestly.
I would say the Lane Thomas deal was very... You thought going into this that they would have to make a trade, and you kind of were getting the grasp of how the market was going, that you were going to have at least one player that made you really stop and irk. They didn't have one in that trade. I was not opposed of getting rid of all three of them. Now, obviously, we can sit here and nitpick and how the potential of all of them could have been and what could be and what this and that. But nonetheless, I mean, we're talking 3 years, 2, 3, 4 years down the line with some of these players. We're not focused on that right now. As much as we still keep that focus, we're not focused on that right now. We're focused on winning right now. Winning today, winning tomorrow, and winning a World Series this year.
Let's go.
That, you have to give up a couple players that could potentially be good in a couple years. And to be fair, you're giving them to the Nationals, which is a historically bad team for prospects. So you sent them to an underdeveloping team where they're not going to develop any better than they were here. And there's a reason Tena got passed by Sheeman. There's a reason Sheenman's up right now, but Tena's not. There's a reason for this.
I'm really glad you made that point because I think a lot of people are overlooking that. There's a reason why Tena, I mean, he's been pro-ready for probably a season and a half now.
They put him in a little last year. He had a couple at-bats last year, and they took him right back down. I mean, it was there's a reason why he's getting traded, and honestly, the Guardians are probably glad they traded him because they were sitting here like, we have this guy who we don't even think he's ready, and we don't even know if he's ever going to be ready, and so we might as well get rid of him now, and you get a guy who is ready, a guy who has impacted his team last year and then this year. Already.
You sent him away while he still had a decent amount of potential. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
if we would have held on to him a little bit longer, and his, I mean, whether he declines or whether he improves, you know, the future will only tell. But for now, he's definitely at the highest point, I would say, in all of his value. So it was good to make him a part of the move. Ramirez was also an interesting piece of that move, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not something that's going to impact us.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, and Clemmy, of course, he's a left-handed pitcher. He's got good velocity, but for what we're working with and what we're hoping to do, um, it just at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because, like Alex said, we're in win now mode and win the
Absolutely.
season mode. Not let's see what we'll do in 2 to 3 years. They want to win now and capitalize on the momentum that they've got in 2024.
No, and absolutely. And before we move on to the next point of focus here, I did want to answer a question I saw in the chat. Are the Yankees going to win the World Series with Jazz? And honestly, it's a great question because with the way that Jazz has been playing and producing already, and obviously we're talking about 3 games of a sequence. I think they might have played again today already, so there might be 4 games worth of at bats on this guy in New York. But at the end of the day, Jazz Jazz was a player that I think a lot of people criticize too much for underperforming for the sense of he's on a team that is not in any way was in any shape to perform. You're talking about a guy who was so good, but what is he like? He knows going into the season what is he good for? He's gonna be good, yeah, but what is he gonna be good for? So he got out of there. He got out of the Marlins. The Marlins are always known for trading every single one of their good players. And guess what? They do the same thing. They start to play a little bad. They trade them because they play on the Marlins, and then they go and they perform somewhere else. Giancarlo Stanton, Yelich, you Jazz Chisholm now. I mean, pitchers, batters, everybody. They just get rid of them. And honestly,
There's a long list.
the list is insanely long. And I mean, yeah, it's I think they're gonna win the World Series because of it? No. I think they still have pitching issues that they haven't addressed completely. Uh Clay Holmes should not be their saver and their saver like their guy, their closer anymore. Just shouldn't be. I mean, he almost blew it last night, but Harper decided to suck. So, but nonetheless, I think not to keep diving into it, but I think that it definitely makes them a better team. But I still think that in Yankees fashion, they're a pitcher, a closer, a reliever, something off. Something will come back to bite them like it does every year.
Yep. I totally agree. And honestly, I think your point of it's either a closer, reliever, starter, whether that be at the end, someone in the bullpen. I think there's a couple spots that the Yankees still have yet to kind of feel comfortable about. Not so much on offense or necessarily defense in the field, but specifically pitching. I think that's definitely an area. Garrett Cole's had kind of an up and down season, and outside of that, I mean, their starters have been serviceable. Like Luis Gil, he's been a really good player this year.
Yeah,
Of course,
whew, yeah.
I don't want to say Nestor Cortez has been great or anything, but he's all right. Of course, Garrett Cole leads off the rotation there, and besides that, I can't think of the other two who start for the Yankees, but that doesn't matter. So I personally think, though, it'll be interesting with the Yankees. I mean, looking between the National League and the American League, it's kind of hard to think that the National League will have. I mean, I kind of think there's like 2 or 3 teams that people are kind of thinking, those will be the for sure teams for the National League. But American League, it's kind of a toss up between, maybe all 6, maybe 5 or 6 of the teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It really could be anybody, especially the top 4 being Cleveland, Houston, New York, and Baltimore. So with that, it's going to be competitive for the Yankees to get through the Orioles, just like it's going to be competitive for us to get through the Royals and the Twins. and very likely the Astros as well. So we'll see. Yankees have a really good shot, but I think two or three other teams have just as fair of a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, look, I look at it. I look at it like we say the same thing about the same teams every year, and it just seems like they never win the World Series. And why is it always the teams that we don't talk about that win the World Series? Well, because there's a difference between spending money and building a roster.
Yep.
I can go into 2K my team and go create a God squad on no cap because I'm the Dodgers and I have no salary cap. I literally can make money out of thin air. So, but why do they never win? Because they don't build a roster based off of their how their scheme of their baseball team is. Like guards baseball. That is a thing that everybody talks about. When you mention the Guardians, you mention guards ball. They play Guardians baseball. It is a set in stone thing that all of our players bought into. That is our identity. The Yankees don't have an identity except money. The Dodgers don't have an identity except money. Like all these teams that are up there, and yes, nonetheless, they every year they have a chance to win. Why? Because they're just simply better. But
And they
are
have
they?
that money.
And they have the money, but are they going to be? No, because it's baseball, and what we've learned is that baseball is such an uncontrollable game that a team like the Guardians can be first in the whole MLB in record, and you can sit there and be completely fearing this team, but then you look at it and you're like, why? They're the fourth lowest payroll in why are we fearing this team? And it's because they didn't construct their roster on money. They constructed their roster by drafting players who all fit the same scheme and now come up and have jobs in that scheme, and it works as one big machine. And
Yep.
then we're sitting here looking at it, what the well-oiled version of this machine looks like, and that's been this year. And last year we saw what the unoiled, worn down, old engine version of this team can look like, and it's awful. So
Yeah.
it's like you sit there and it's like the Guardians walk on eggshells with the way that they play baseball, but it works because once if you have the people in the right places and the right pieces, you create the most beautiful machine ever. And that's just what baseball is, and that's why I think it helps them a lot, but nonetheless they're just throwing more money in the bag into a pile, hoping that all of it fixes itself and figures itself out, and they just keep here, money, figure it out, figure it out.
And it's fair to your point too. I was thinking about it. You mentioned the Dodgers first off, and you mentioned they haven't won, blah blah blah. Obviously, they get really really close, and I was thinking, well, I mean, they won the World Series a couple years ago. I think it was either 2020 or
19 or 20,
21,
20
something like
somewhere
that.
somewhere in those years.
And the thing is with that team, they were a team that was put together that had it wasn't I wouldn't even say they so much had like an identity, but
Way more.
like they had players playing for them that had a role and played really well in their role. Whereas now they've had a couple of guys leave, like a big one is Mookie Betts, obviously. Or no, they got Mookie Betts. Who's the one I'm thinking of? Freddie Freeman. Or no, not Freddie Freeman. Who's the other one?
They lost Bellinger. They lost Cody the one year.
Bellinger.
They lost Trey
Who's the other-
Turner. They lost Trey Turner.
Trey
They lo-
Turner. I think that was who I was thinking
and then
of.
they lost oh my goodness, why am I blanking on the name of the one dude? I mean, he's magical. How am I forgetting?
Justin Turner.
Well, the Justin Turner too. Justin Turner's
Yeah.
another one that they lost. It's every year they lose people,
Right.
good players all the time. That team was stacked, and they got rid of those players that helped their scheme and replaced them with better players money wise. And here they are, and they're a team that they're still once again. I think they're 2 games under us for being the best record. So it's not like they're just sucking, but like
Right.
nonetheless, they should not be anywhere near us. Like none of these teams should. They just shouldn't. They shouldn't. We should not be beating the Phillies in their own stadium. We shouldn't be doing the things that we do, but we do. And it's simply just because the team bought in, and when you have a group of special players that buy in, I mean, good things happen, man. And I think Lane Thomas is a great fit in the sense of Guardians baseball. He fits the scheme.
I totally agree. And back on the conversation of Lane Thomas, of course, in his time with Washington, he hit 60 home runs with an average of 257. So that's really serviceable, if you ask me. Especially that 257 coming from the outfield, where we've seen a little bit of inconsistency with Tyler Freeman and Will Brennan and this and that. Obviously, we're seeing the big Christmas revival, and of course
Absolutely.
Kwan's dealing with his issues. He'll get through it. Obviously, he's Stephen Kwan for crying out loud. Uh,
Yeah.
but as Alex alluded to, last season was Lane Thomas's breakout season. He hit 28 home runs with an average of 268. Of course, that's you know enough to earn you an All-Star nod coming out of the National League like that. But 20 stolen bases and a 783 OPS. It's pretty good for an outfielder.
Now I have a thing. Did he do the opposite of Kwan in between the 2 years, or is it just an injury issue? Because if you look at it, when you read the list, he had for last year, he had 20 stolen bases.
20.
This year he has 28 stolen bases. He's been injured, and it's only halfway through the year.
28.
That is 8 more stolen bases than he had all of last year. And guess what? He has 20 less home runs than he hit all of last year. He literally just went boop and just flipped the script. He said, you know, I'm gonna start running. And as we saw, Kwan said, well, and swooped and said, I'm gonna start hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna care a little less about being fast. I'm gonna care a little more about mashing. So were the Nationals trying to get him to become the speedy guy instead of the power guy? Because if you look, and now this is interesting stats. This is where it starts getting into like weird stuff. But if you look at his pull percentage, it's down 10% compared to last year. All of his home runs last year were pull. So he's hitting a lot less. He's trying to hit the ball more, follow the baseball and hit it for contact and get the singles and the doubles, and less of I'm going to pull the baseball to try to rip it. And it's shown. His average is down. His hits are down. His stolen bases are the only thing that's up. Besides, and everything else is kind of decreased. Now, obviously, he was injured, and you got to take it for what it's worth. Baseball should be in the Olympics, by the way. I saw the comment on that. Baseball should 1,000% be in the Olympics. It should be in the Winter Olympics so that they can play during their off season. And MLB players should 1,000% participate.
You've seen how exciting the World Baseball Classic is.
Oh, I mean you're talking about like, I mean Japan versus the United States is just like a game that everybody would pay money to watch. I mean, like, that's that game was so good, and Mike Trout and Ohtani being the last two was just baseball, man. Baseball is one of the most beautiful sports, and I think it 1,000% should be in the Olympics. I think
Winter Olympics for sure.
Winter Olympics. It should not be I get it, like, Winter Olympics, why the would you do that? But, like, no, 100%. It should be indoor, Winter Olympics. It doesn't even have to be indoor. You could put it, if it's somewhere warm, you can have it outside. But, like, nonetheless, it should be in the Winter Olympics so everybody can play. You don't have to leave your teams. And we can enjoy baseball in the Olympics. I mean, you get basketball, you're getting flag football. You got all these different sports. Baseball's America's pastime. Come on, we gotta vote for that to get in there. They get soccer, they get all these other things. Why can't we get our baseball? But
100%.
But nonetheless, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was even at the lowest, and I have the numbers here from last year and this year. Last year, he was batting about 242 on average versus right-handed pitchers. This year, he's looking at a little bit lower than that. Obviously, once again, it is what it is. He's batting 226 right now against right-handed pitchers. That 226 is better than basically every one of our right fielders besides John Kenzie Noel.
Yep. Not a surprise.
And so when you look at that and you see that as a perspective of what he's going to be playing in his role and versus what we had versus what we have now, he is better in every category. Not only does he mash lefties, I mean, you're talking about a dude that last year was batting 331. This year he's batting 322. I mean, that's a slight decrease, but like really, not really. I mean, you're talking about a dude that's I mean, that's mashing. That's like basically the David Fry of right fielders.
There we
I
go.
mean, but that's the thing about it that really sinks it in as a good pick. And I see all the criticism about, oh, he's digressing. We knew he was going to digress. He just came off an injury. His numbers have been increasing since he came up back from his injury. And yeah, I mean, you're just talking about a guy that has all the tools, and the Guardians are really good at getting the best out of people. So yeah, I mean, I'm all in on the trade. You gave up very little, I believe, for the player that you could potentially get back. And if you don't think it's going to work out, you can trade him next year for someone to give him to someone halfway through the year for a rental, because you know a team's going to come around and need a rental player.
Yep.
Then you trade him and you get prospects back just like the Nationals did, and and then it's fine. You go 360 again. But nonetheless, I like it.
The thing is with me, honestly, I really do think Thomas is going to be really good for us. And I think he's going to really, really find a fitting home here in Cleveland, that he feels his talents are being used and put to the test appropriately. Maybe whereas he felt in Washington that he wasn't necessarily getting the treatment that he should, because he's all around a really great player. And I think for him to end up on a competing ball club like the Cleveland Guardians is very fitting, and it honestly just makes sense. And you love to see it. As Alex mentioned, his 2024 campaign got off to a little bit of a slow start, dealing with a couple ligament issues and strains that set him out about a month. But entering Monday night, this past Monday, which was like 2 days ago, he had a 25 game on base streak.
Well, it's 26 now because you got that single in Cleveland.
Right. So it's 26, as well as we mentioned the 28 stolen bases, which is third in the majors right now. So, it's not like he's just some random decent outfielder or anything like that. Like, this guy is legit, and I really do think as the next few weeks go on and we see him start to play and find his role more in this lineup, I think we're really going to see where he fits and kind of how his play is going to impact our play overall as we get into the final quarter of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a guy that took a red-eye flight and played the next day at 1:10 p.m. Like, you're talking about a guy that he was adamant on the phone. I will be in the lineup tomorrow.
He said, "I'll be here tomorrow.
I will be in the lineup to play with my teammates tomorrow." Because that's the guy who he went to work on a losing team, got a phone call, and ended his workday on a team that has the best record in the MLB. I mean, you're talking about like if there's any team that's going to get full potential out of him and could potentially bring back the last year version of this guy, it is the Cleveland Guardians. And if you get last year's version of this guy, you're talking about a dude that's going to sit in your 2-hole, that's going to steal you a bag and hit you a dinger. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
he's going to contribute.
He's going to righty, lefty, it doesn't matter. You're talking about a guy that even against righties is still batting better than every option you had at right field.
Yep.
And that's saying something. I mean, because half of them couldn't hit lefties. So you're talking about a guy that mashes lefties and can hit righties.
If we're looking at Quan, Lane Thomas, and Big Christmas as our outfielders going into the postseason,
I'll take that. I would take that for sure. I would take that for sure.
All day.
You're definitely looking a little. The only thing that is interesting about it, and obviously the Guardians, once again, it's a whole different when you're talking about the Guardians with talent versus other teams. Like, obviously they get the best out of players. So I think I mean he is the first right fielder that has a win runs created plus of anything good since Michael Brantley. I mean, he's literally he has we have waited since Michael Brantley to get somebody like him. He has a pretty good arm. His range is very but now that he's a lot more quick, you assume that range kind of will work its way out. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, if you can even I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different lineups. Noel becomes a very interesting piece now because what are you really going to do with him? I mean, he can play first. He can DH. He can play right, but I mean, I'd rather have Thomas at right. I mean, you could you could maybe send Angel back to short and then you throw someone in center, but I don't know who you'd put there because you're not putting Big Christmas in center. You're not putting Quan in center.
Big Christmas. I love that. Big X the plug.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear Big Christmas, I think of his one song that he has that's like a Christmas song, and I just every time I think of it, I think of Big X.
I mean,
Turns me up.
he's a dog, man. He's a dog.
Yep.
But
yeah, no, I like what you said though. I do agree. I think it'd be interesting to kind of see what you're gonna do. How about Rocchio hitting a home run in garbage time the other night?
oh, I know. I know. How about it? I mean, shoot, he has more home runs than Jimenez does.
He does, yeah. Kind of odd,
Yeah,
but
but Jimenez is runners in scoring position clutch god.
oh yeah.
This dude always knows how to get you a single or a double down the line in clutch opportunities. So
Which I think we've seen a lot out of Big Christmas as well. He's been getting on base and driving in runs.
They were talking about how he's not gonna. I watched him hit. I mean, absolutely smother a ground ball that just went right through the gap, and it was going. It's so fast. It's like as long as he finds gaps, it's over.
Yep.
It's over. Get
on base. Get on base, big boy.
Get on base, big boy.
I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying, man. All right, and for number 2 trade, let's get on to we got to get to trade number 2.
I know we've been harping on number 1.
I mean, but to be fair, I mean, this other trade is a lot. There's not much to really talk about for the sense of he hasn't played it all this year, so you're talking on ifs and buts.
It's like a Deshaun Watson kind of situation.
Yeah, it really is. And obviously for those those who don't know, Alex Cobb from the San Francisco Giants got traded to the Guardians for Jacob Bresenham, who we were talking about earlier, someone who I'm not entirely thrilled to see go, but nonetheless, if you can get last year Cobb for the rest of the season and you give up Jacob Bresenham, I'm okay with it. I can live with that. And there is a player to be named. We don't know who that is. A lot of people assume it's a draft pick from this year that they can't trade yet. But
makes sense.
Yeah, so they have to wait until they can because they can't right now. But nonetheless, it could be a player from this draft. It could be a player from last draft. It's probably going to be somebody not as big. But Jacob Bresenham, it hurts a little bit. But you're talking about a guy last year who he made the All-Star game. He had a 3.87 ERA on 28 starts. I mean, he had 2 complete games. I did want to note that. He did have 2 complete games. Complete games are hard to come by this year.
That is.
It's a very hard thing to get your pitcher to go complete games. So, 2 complete games, 151.1 innings. I mean, yeah, he only gave up 69 runs on 131 strikeouts with a 1.32 whip. I mean, if you get that out of him, if that's the guy you're talking about that we just traded for, I'm all in. I mean, that's on paper, that is a perfect number 4, a perfect guy at the end of the lineup that he's a little older, but he just gets it done. He eats innings.
Comes in and pitches at the end of the series. You know, you're not expecting him to pitch in game 1 or game 2, maybe like game 3 or 4,
right?
Depending on where you're sitting. But Cobb made the All-Star season last year.
That's what I'm saying. All-Star last season.
3.87 ERA, 3.54 strikeout to walk ratio, which is really impressive across 28 total starts. You can't deny that he deserved an All-Star nod. And he's a little bit on the older side, of course, turning 36 this year. Hasn't appeared in a single game this season. Obviously, dealing with an off-season hip surgery rehab, in which he came back, tweaked something in his shoulder, and as he was nearing his return this week, had a little blister incident on his finger where he popped. It was a pretty nasty blister on his index, his pitching hand. So it pushed his debut a little bit further back for the Giants. And now, since he's now dealt to Cleveland, he will make his season debut after he rehabs in lower A baseball.
Yay! Yay! Don't forget, they also have Tyler Boyd sitting there waiting, making his long-awaited rehab. He's sitting. I believe he's in AAA right now, and he just had.
Boyd was the one from the Giants earlier, wasn't he?
No, Detroit. We got him from. Well, he was a free agent.
Detroit. Who was the guy we got from the Giants earlier?
The dude we just sent down to the mine, Strelensky, something crazy.
Maybe.
Or are you talking about? No. You're talking about the starter.
There was a guy when the Giants came to town.
Mm-hmm.
They traded him, and we just.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, need to look that one up because, I mean, I don't think I've seen him pitch yet for the Guards. Not that I can think of.
He did. He pitched once and he gave up 5 runs, and we got absolutely smoked.
He pitched like the second or third game right after we got him. That's right.
I get a lot of Cobb stuff. Obviously, it's not ideal that we just traded with them again.
Hey man, we must have seen something.
Seriously, we were just like, you know what? We're gonna do it all. Let's
make these guys' lives hell and have them go from the west to the east coast.
I mean, this guy obviously means absolutely nothing to everybody because this dude ain't showing up anywhere. And he's a pitcher, so I can't even say pitcher or anything. There's nothing to go off of this on except that we added him at some point this year. And
we got nothing.
I'm trying. I am trying. Oh, wait. Hold on.
I know you're going to find it.
I found it. Hold on. Spencer Howard.
Yep, that's it.
Spencer Howard. I saw something from a week ago, and I said, that's it. I found the article.
Yep.
But yeah, Spencer Howard, who also sucked it. So let's hope he's not anything like how Spencer Howard was when he came over here. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team now with these 2 ads, with Tyler Boyd sitting there. I mean, you're looking at a 5th pitcher spot for the rest of the year that every one of these dudes is fighting over. And then, all right, everybody's battling for the 4th spot. Who's going to get the 4th playoff spot? But for the rest of the year, you're going to have a 5th starter. So who's that going to be? So you got to figure out who the 5th is going to be and who the 4th is going to be. Because the Guardians, with having the hardest strength of schedule for the rest of the year and a lot of games because they had a lot of games off, they need a 5th starter. So that's why I think they have Boyd and they have Cobb cooking. You have all the dudes that are in AAA. You have Carrasco still living. So there's a lot of unanswered questions in the rotation still to come, for sure.
I totally agree. And I also wanted to mention, how about Gavin Williams' very inspiring performance yesterday against Detroit?
We needed it. He needed it. We needed it.
We really needed it. Needed confidence back in him, and I think that shows more confidence that he can be maybe 3 or 4 in that lineup. Maybe even 2. I don't know.
It's a lineup. I don't know. I mean,
Lively and
Bybee,
Lively and Bybee. I love it.
Yeah, Lively and Bybee. They've looked good, man. I mean, those 3, if those 3 can become consistent for you, I mean, it's games. It's game. Because then you just need the 4th for the playoffs, and you need the 5th can be whoever for the rest of the year as long as they're semi-decent. So, I mean, you hope Boyd or Cobb, one of the 2, become back to semi-normal. They're sitting at around the 3s in ERA, and you can put them in at 4. And then one of them, hopefully they both do, and then you have 4 and 5. Carrasco becomes your long reliever because statistically, Carrasco is better than Avila. Carrasco's first time through the orders ERA is better than Avila's ERA. So you would technically be better having Carrasco as your long reliever. And I would like that too. I think he'd be a perfect long reliever. Someone that can get through the order once, maybe 2 innings in.
I agree. That's all you really need.
That
On him especially. Maybe not throw all that pressure on him to start the game, but have him come in a couple innings in.
And I think you can get a lot because I think there's a lot of I think he's a sentimental piece where he kind of he spent his career here. Obviously, we love him, so it's one of those things where you want to see him do something. You want to see him be a part of this team. So hopefully they find something for him to do and to be effective and so that we can keep him around because I love Carrasco and I'd love to see him do something for us in the playoffs, whether it's a reliever or whatever it is. But yeah, man, I mean these Guardians, now that they have the pieces that they needed to add, well, the pieces they think that they needed to add to create this run. I mean, we're sitting here and all we have to do is just wait to see what lineup they end up kind of starting to lean towards. What players they start gravitating towards, what rotation they start gravitating towards. I mean, that's really it's a flip of the coin at this point.
Yep.
You're really just waiting.
It really is, and of course, as the season rolls on through this last little quarter of the season, of course, the 28-man roster will have to be decided, and we'll have to call a couple guys up. Do you have any idea who you'd think would get called up? Probably Manzardo.
Mm-hmm. Manzardo is obvious.
Juan Brito. Maybe a pitcher.
I mean, no, you definitely. I think you definitely bring up a pitcher. I mean, now who it is, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, but you bring up Manzardo, I believe. I mean, you potentially bring. I mean, I think Arias should be back up here regardless.
I agree.
I think Rocchio should go back down. I mean, I know he just hit a home run, but like that should not set aside the fact that he has been absolutely struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he needs to go down and kind of figure himself out a little bit. I think Arias needs to come back up and get another chance to be, because I don't think Arias has ever played as much as Rocchio has been playing recently.
Yeah.
I don't even think they've ever given Arias a shot like that, except at the beginning of the year, but they both played.
Yep.
So, and I don't know what that is or what that attests to, but I would love to see some Arias, I think. But
I would also like to mention, of course, with Arias and Rocchio and just the whole situation there. I mean, maybe it would be good to kind of give a chance to call one, or to send one of those guys down now, because if you're banking on one of those guys more than the other, then whoever you're banking on more than the other in terms of what they'll turn out to be production wise, maybe you send them down now and kind of give them that sense of, hey, we're gonna send you down and we'll keep an eye on you and see how you play. But as we near the postseason, of course, you have a chance to get called up. You may not get called up. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But keep that in mind. And especially with the Guardians in prime position to strike this season, if I were one of those guys, I'd be like, I want on that major league roster. I'm going to work my ass off the next couple weeks to get better and improve and show them that I belong on that roster and to take one of those final spots. So, maybe it will be really good to send one of those guys down. Maybe you send I don't want to say send both of them down, but maybe you give one guy a chance over the other and then kind of just see how it works out. But I really do believe in that theory that maybe, sending them down now as the season nears an end and postseason rolls around might put a little fire under their ass to kind of get their game together.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to be a part of this roster? And honestly, I mean, it just depends on what's happening. But Travis Bazzana had a grand slam today, and with the way he talks and the way he's looking, he wants to be a part of this team in October. He wants to play with this team in October.
Oh,
He is busting his ass to try to play with this team in October. Now,
100%.
Are they going to let him? Probably not. Will he maybe play a series or two at like the end of the year when we're either in or not. If we're not fighting for, if we are in a spot where we are locked in, no matter what happens, we can't go anywhere, then they might bring him up to get him some at bats.
Hey man, we've still got 2 months of the season left.
I mean, you have all of August and all of
All of
September.
September, yeah.
And I mean, listen,
that gives him plenty of time.
It does, but
not so much to get called up anytime soon, but to work his way up the next few months to maybe making an appearance at the end of the season, going into the playoffs. Again, I don't really think it's that likely, but I've seen.
But if
I
mean, if he comes in and he starts killing and he starts drilling, he mashing home runs, just absolutely destroying in the minor league system. Yeah, I think he could come up. Absolutely. I really do. I really think he could, but for now, you gotta start sparking the end of that lineup up a little bit. You gotta start driving it into these people that playoff baseball is coming, and we need playoff performance. We need that extra kick, and whoever it comes from or whatever it comes from, I mean, who knows? But nonetheless, I mean, this team's ready. I think this team has what it takes. If the rotation at the end, if they solidify that the way that it could be, the way that it should be, I mean, yeah, this team's going. This team's going to be going places. This team's going far. They'll make a deep playoff run.
Absolutely. And with that, I mean, that kind of wraps up all of our Guardians discussion. Obviously, we play a big game. Big series to start at home tomorrow against the Orioles. Really exciting. Are you going to make it to that game, Alex?
Make it to the game? What do you mean?
Are you going to be present? Oh, no.
Not we're good. We're good.
All right. I was going to say, though, are you going to make it out to the game tomorrow?
I'll watch it, yeah.
All right.
Now, will I go to it? Sure. Oh wait, no, I won't.
No.
Maybe I'll go to Fridays. I should go though because I hate to say this on the air, but like pocket Orioles fan, and I would love to watch them play each other. No, I used to live in Baltimore. Don't hate. Don't hate.
I get it. I was just gonna say I haven't ever seen the Orioles myself, so it would be a pretty decent series. I unfortunately cannot make it. The only game I'd be able to make it to is tomorrow's game. I unfortunately am going to 2 events on Friday and Saturday, so this weekend's booked for me.
Shout out to Colton Cheney for the subscription. Just wanted to say that. We appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Colton.
Thank you very much. Continue on, but but
yeah, with that, obviously big series coming up, and we will be paying heavy, very close attention to what's going on, and we'll have more to discuss on Sunday, obviously, for our next stream.
Oh, do you work on Saturday? Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Who's coming to the game with me on Saturday? Chat, someone type up who's going to the Guardians game with me. Who's going to the Guardians game with me, guys?
Saturday's going to be a nice day, too.
I need answers because I'm pulling the trigger. I'm down to go. If someone comes with me, guys, I'll go. 100%. We'll pull the trigger. We'll go.
Saturday's going to be very nice.
Yeah. Who do we got? Is it Carrasco?
Probably.
No, it's Bybee, isn't it? It's Bybee. Carrasco doesn't pitch tomorrow, but he pitches the next day, I'm pretty sure.
Well, Bybee just pitched on Monday, so yeah, it would probably be Bybee by then.
Well, yeah, they're rocking 4-man right now.
Yeah.
So it's every 5 days. 4 starts, 5 days. Every 5 days.
They're rocking 4-man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at it, and I was like, why are we doing that? Especially with the fact that we have such a hard schedule coming up, and we play so many days in a row. I don't know why we have a 5-man going right now.
Right. I 100% agree. But yeah, with that, Alex, I think that kind of takes us into our next segment, which would be, of course, about the Cleveland Cavaliers. How about that?
Hey, the Cavaliers. Oh, by the way, it is Carrasco tomorrow, guys. Or not tomorrow, Carrasco. 2 days. It's Carrasco on Friday. Saturday is Bybee.
So Friday, maybe not go to the game.
No,
Maybe
we're going to the
tomorrow.
Saturday game, guys, because Friday might be a blowout.
Yep, yep. And Alex has off work Saturday, so that
No,
works for
yep,
him.
we're going. Everybody, we're going. Pack it in,
Um,
boys.
but yeah, getting back into our news segment, which is going to be about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Big news out of Cleveland, of course. Jared Allen, big guy, big center, signs a 3-year, $91 million contract extension to stay with the Cavs. Extension, so that's on top of what he's already here for. So I think that takes him through the next 4 seasons then. With that, obviously, that's a really big signing for us because he's one of the 2 big guys that I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are hoping to build um, their core 5 around. And, he's already an established veteran in the league, and he's established as an all-star caliber player. So I think it only made sense for them to lock him up, especially with them kind of shooting down any trade rumors and any rumors of thinking of moving any pieces to acquire some other ones. Still may be in the cards, but as of right now, Cleveland is running it back with their core 5. Outside of the Jared Allen contract, of course, Evan Mobley recently signed a contract extension, a multi-year contract extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he will be with the Cavs for the next few seasons. That's a huge, huge thing for the Cavs, especially as Kenny Atkinson, newly acquired head coach, has made it clear he wants to accelerate the progress and the development of Evan Mobley severely. He wants Evan Mobley to take a giant leap, if you will, 5 steps forward from where he was even at last season. So big year for Evan Mobley coming up. Obviously, they have a lot of hope on him, so they signed him and locked him up. So now you've got your big, your 2 big guys in the paint there, signed and locked in for the next few seasons. Of course, all-star franchise guy Donovan Mitchell signed a 3-year extension this offseason as well. That's your guy you needed to lock up. We were really hoping we weren't going to see him go elsewhere. Of course, Garland's still under contract for a little bit longer, and as we saw, of course, let's see. Obviously, we have that iffy spot on the roster with Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert and this and that kind of rotating. But hopefully they find some stability and some in a concrete kind of player going into this season. I hope Okoro can kind of develop into that guy. I think they've also talked heavily about developing him and getting him up to speed with what they're hoping to do. With everything that I just said, though, Alex, what are your key takeaways? What do you think, and what are your expectations?
With them getting Jared Allen, I think that officially is them saying you're gonna end your career here.
Yep.
Jared Allen is already I'm not gonna label him as an older player, but he's as you said, an established veteran in this league, someone whose presence is very known, and I mean the only problem I even have with this is his inability to stay healthy through a full season. Now, if you can fix that and we can get him in the playoffs and playing without getting injured, I'm all in. Because if we had Jared Allen last year, I believe it's a completely different ball game. He fits our scheme very well. I think he's a very key piece in the development of Evan Mobley, teaching him more of the how to get a rebound no matter what, how to go up physical, how to be able to attack in the paint. Now, I think Evan Mobley needs to do all the rest of it by himself, but he has a very good mentor in the center, and that's Jared Allen. And this team did not want to get rid of him.
No.
The players said that from the beginning. The front office said that from the beginning. Nobody wanted to get rid of him. I mean, he was the first piece that they got when we were down, when we had nothing. They picked up Jared Allen randomly, and we were like, what? And then all of a sudden, he became the fro. And now, I mean, he's a piece that everybody wants around, and he's going to stick around. So that is amazing. I mean, I'm all in on it. This team, they bought into the core. They just need to figure out the 3, which they try to do in the draft, but they never have picks to do it. Yeah, I mean, you're hoping that this team somewhere down the line, somehow, some way, somewhere gets a 3. even just a veteran, even a guy who's not going to put up that many points, but just an established three is basically all this team is lacking. Oh, they're a solid three away from being able to compete with every team in the league.
Um, Allen for 5 seasons, Mobley for 6, Garland for 3, and Mitchell for the next 3. Garland seems to be the big piece in that whole kind of catalyst situation there that really needs to, God, just figure it out, dude. Because seeing him play really well, it's like, thank God that
Yeah,
he has this kind of talent and he's on our team. And then he plays like dog crap, and you're like, dude, like what? There's no explanation for it. And you're like, it really makes you mad because you know that Garland's much better than that, and you know that his potential exceeds his performances sometimes, and it's really disappointing to see that he can't seem to consistently play to a um, I guess reasonable level, and it really does make you think about we have Mobley and we have Allen and Mitchell, and we're working through that 3 spot there, but if Garland can just really figure his game out and stick to one thing and make that kind of his game, then the Cavaliers are poised to go as far as they necessarily can take themselves.
yeah,
I think the sky's the limit for them if they can figure everything out. Of course, injuries play a huge factor into the reasons why the Cavs weren't as successful following that huge win streak that we had this past season in early January going into February. But outside of that, injuries and consistency and physicality, those are my big 3. Physicality, I'm giving you the finger here. That's number 3.
that's number 3. Yeah,
Physicality, that's going to be huge for the Cavaliers. They need to be more physical and they need to show more effort, especially against teams that you're better than. I feel like they kind of let themselves. I think they sell themselves a little short against teams that they know that they can beat. And I think
yeah,
that they underplay a little bit, and that's not always the case, but in some cases that's glaring more than other games. And as long as they can kind of get that under wraps and find their groove together as a team under new guidance and new leadership with the new head coach Kenny Atkinson, I think I think these Cavaliers are going to be really good this season.
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. This Cavs team has so much potential. I mean, they've been living in potential. They always have so much potential. I mean, even when like Garland is your main piece in the sense of they need to figure out how to get him and Donovan Mitchell on the same page.
Yep.
And it's and like I get the off court chemistry is here, like sky high, like off field chemistry could not be any better. But we need on the court chemistry because at the end of the day we want a championship. The players want a championship. The organization wants a championship. Everybody wants a championship. So I'm glad that the Garland thing was pushed over and the fact of we aren't just gonna sit here and blatantly just it's over. We're not just gonna throw him out to the side and trade him and all this and that. You're hoping that with this new coach it gels. And obviously, if the Garland and Mitchell thing becomes a problem and continues to be a problem, next year we're probably looking at an outcome where Darius Garland is probably not on this team. And is that going to suck? Yeah, because of all the potential he could have, because he's probably going to go to a lesser team that doesn't have a player like Donovan Mitchell, and he's going to go thrive because he can be that guy, but he needs to be the best player on the court. That's what it looks like right now. And if he can fix that, and he can learn to be with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and become more of a facilitator, first, shoot second kind of point guard, then I mean this team could go to different heights. If both of those players are averaging 25 a game, this team is all the way up.
Yep, I 100% agree. And I see a lot of people in different communities that follow the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of people really do think that Isaac Okoro can be a really important piece in this lineup going forward. Of course, we've got a lot of young players. It'll be interesting to see the development of Imani Bates and
Yeah.
Chris Porter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll also be interesting to see how Jalen Tyson also plays, the newly drafted player out of
Yep.
UCLA was it UCLA?
No, he played for it was Cal.
Cal, that's right.
It,
It's the same thing. Um,
well,
sort of, kinda.
kinda. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll let it slide for
Hey,
sure.
I'll let it slide. I'll
Like,
allow
bro,
it.
I got you. I'll let it slide for sure. But like,
So Cal, UCLA, whatever. He could be a really important piece as well. The summer league has been going strong for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's kind of been an interesting summer league. We've seen a couple good players. Of course, DJ Burns is playing really well. Porter's playing really
big
well.
boy.
Um, Isaiah Mobley, Evan Mobley's brother, has also been playing really well, which isn't any surprise. He's been up on our bench for quite some time, and the Mobley brothers are talented. There's no question there. Isaiah will have his role eventually, but some of these other young guys, yeah, like Imani is going to be really interesting. I think Imani, looks wise, 100% fits the role of a everyday three. Maybe put on a little more muscle.
I mean, he did. He did put he. You should have you seen him recently? He did. He put on like 25 pounds of muscle.
I
In
mean,
the
I
off
didn't.
season.
I haven't. I've seen him recently, but I guess I didn't pay that close attention to.
He gained some weight for sure. He took the underweight thing to heart a little bit this off season, and that's good.
Really?
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, I would look it up because I saw he definitely added weight. He definitely put on some muscle.
So,
Uh
so this guy, Mr. Imani,
yeah. Imani, what's it? Isn't it like Yates?
something like that.
It's our,
Does he not have a Instagram?
who Imani Bates?
Yeah, he's got to have
It's
an Instagram.
yeah, he definitely does, but it's like Monty or some stupid shit. Probably it's probably something not Imani Bates.
Bro,
Are you tweaking out?
I definitely follow him on Instagram. I just can't find him.
All right, you know what, and that's fine because while you do that, we're gonna go onto this screen and just reminder to make sure you go follow all the social medias. The Daily Dose, same way it's spelled on the YouTube for every social. The only difference is add a 6, and that is the TikTok. Go make sure you follow us. Those are also the personal socials. Double A Hunt 2 underscores is my Instagram. Dominic underscore Pagura is Dom's Instagram. Go follow us if you care that much about our personal lives. But did want to just say that real quick. Make sure you go give us a follow. Stay up to tune with all the goods and all the Cleveland sports because I like to talk a lot on my main page about it too. But while Dom is lost in the sauce here trying to figure this out,
Can't find it. Can't find it. Can't find it. Can't find it. Can't find it.
just wanted to thank everybody for watching, listening, subscribing. We had some good
Commenting.
questions. Yeah, we had some. Yeah, we need some more comments up in here. We had good comments earlier in the show. We appreciate all y'all. Of course, as always, another show. Our Sunday shows are obviously favorited.
It is. It better be.
Our Sunday shows are way more popping off. The Wednesday shows are, to be fair, we do these a little later, so
We do. Yeah, they're late shows.
it's the late show. But that's why you guys love us because we are the late show.
Yep.
But
But
yeah, man.
outside of that, I mean, are there any other Cavs related news? Obviously, we talked about what we expect out of their lineup, and I mean, it's kind of hard to tell right now with kind of expectations for them going into the season. I mean, we kind of set them, honestly. I mean, I expect them to play really well. The only issue is, I mean, they could play as good as they necessarily want to play as long as they can stay healthy. That's really it.
Oh, I mean, yeah. The health of this team, which is the same for I feel like every Cleveland sports team. It's the health.
Health is wealth.
The health of this team is going to be very crucial to
You see this?
what?
I had a flap of hair that kept like coming down here. Look goofy. I still look.
Boy looking goofy. Boy looking goofy.
Even Goofy was a dog.
Oh. Oh man. All right, listen. I'll tell this to the viewers that are in here now. I'm gonna post something right now, right? And if by the end of this little stream, depending on how many people we got in here and how many people say yes or no, we might follow the Sunday tradition, and we might go back to reaction time. We might go back to reaction to. We might stay on and watch something else, whatever chat desires.
That was
Cleveland
fun.
sports, Cleveland sports or not, I had a lot of fun with you guys on Sunday night, almost Monday morning at that
That was
point.
it was getting late.
It didn't matter. We were having a blast. I appreciated it. So I'm gonna post. Depending on how this goes, we might remake part two, because that'd be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
I'm all in on it. I'm posting. I'm posting right now on both the social medias.
Do it.
I gotta get you in the chat. Smile, Dom. Hold on. There you go.
Those of you that are here, I love you.
Yeah, seriously, we love you guys. Keep bowling out for real. We appreciate y'all.
How many viewers we got?
3, 4.
Nice.
3. It just literally went up, down. 3.
Let's go.
3. I think
Let's
I,
go.
I think it was I was fucking it up.
We love you three people.
Nah, for real, we do. We love every one of you guys. We really do. You guys are much obliged, much appreciated. No matter what, we always got some people up in here trying to talk, trying to learn.
Now, outside of that, the Cleveland Browns, of course, I think our Cavs discussion's kind of coming to a close here as there's not much else necessarily to be discussed. But as we get into a little bit of Cleveland Browns news, of course, Deshaun Watson has been looking very, 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 very good at training camp. Obviously, very low stakes currently with the kind of drills they're running him through and some of the just some of the casual training camp activities and such that you would expect to see. He's been performing. He's been playing really well, and he's been making his receivers and everyone else look better around him, which I think is a key to what we will hopefully see out of Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson, this is my favorite shirt of all time. This shirt is so good. Oh my gosh. I remember when I saw this, I was like, I'm buying it. I don't care how much it is. Buying it immediately. Don't care. Wouldn't even ask a question. She didn't even have to tell me how much it is. I said, just ring it up. Ring it up. But nonetheless, of course, outside of that, Mike Vrabel, I know we talked Mike Vrabel last time we talked Browns, has been making some headlines in the news lately. Nothing in particular, but just talking with the media, acknowledging his roots in Ohio, of course, and his connection to the Browns over his entire lifetime. It really is fitting that he ended up here, and it really does just bring a warmness and a warmth, if you will, to my heart that we ended up with this great coach, great guy, former amazing football player who unfortunately lost his job as a head coach and found his way on his childhood team that he grew up loving. And for him to now be here and be able to contribute and kind of just share his experience and what he knows with an already historic defense that the Cleveland Browns have put together, it's exciting. It's exciting, and it really does add to the overall hype that the Browns defense has this season after performing so well last year. And for as well as they performed last season, of course, they had their games where they gave up, more than 30 points. And, that was kind of a, again, I mentioned for as historic and as great as they were last season, they let up a lot of points to some teams that, you expect a couple touchdowns, I'd say, here or there. But like the Colts, they put up a lot on us. The Seahawks put up a lot on us. Rams, Broncos, two other teams that put up more than 30 on us that were kind of surprising. But outside of that, necessarily, the Ravens are to be expected. A couple of the other teams in there that we really felt. It's always a battle going into some of those games.
Oh yeah.
But outside of that, for the defense to be susceptible to having those games where they don't play and perform as good as they do in weeks past, to acquire somebody like Mike Vrabel who knows a thing or two, it's going to do dividends for this defense, and I'm really really excited to see what he has to say the rest of the season going into what should be a really exciting year, and just to see how his overall influence impacts the defense.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry guys, I did it. We're posted up. Uh yeah, I'll give it until the end of the show. We'll see what's popping off, and I'll see if we extend it for a reaction. But nonetheless, Vrabel, man, Vrabel is a very key part. I think one of the biggest offseason additions to this team, one of the most slept on, one that the media I don't think gives enough justice to, on how smart it was from a player development standpoint to just a front office standpoint. I mean, it's a good guy who knows football, who knows how to win, has proven he can win, and might have lost his job, but I don't think it was for what he lacked in, and it was more so that the Titans were just in a really bad spot,
Mm-hmm.
and Vrabel was not the answer for what they wanted in the future. Which, just so it's a business, it's not a personal thing. It's not a personal world. It's a business world out there. So you got to live and learn with it. We take him. We'll gladly take him, head coach or not. I promise you, I'm very happy with Mike Vrabel on the team.
Absolutely. Yep. Totally agree.
And yeah, I mean, the Browns, we want them to pop off a little more. We want to see some more news, but it's kind of hard when the team's not even in Ohio right now. So, but you do have the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, which does indeed mark the beginning of the season. I think the Hall of Fame game is always that game that kind of reminds you, hey, preseason is right around the corner, so get ready. And
Yep.
it is. Preseason's right around the corner. We're getting close. I mean, Dom. I mean, I don't know, man. We're getting close. It's becoming more. The season is becoming touchable. College football's almost back.
College football, man. I'm excited.
Once again, we're in the middle of baseball season, and we keep talking guards because that's what's happening. But
Yep.
give it a month and a half, and I promise you that the guards will be a glimpse of this show, and we're gonna be on the dog team, on the dog pound. Because guess what? When it
Dog
comes
team.
to this raw dogging it. Come on,
Raw
now.
dogging it. Oh my
Come
god.
on now. We're a bunch of dogs. It's time to eat our milk bones. Fucking
You're Pluto. Mickey Mouse's dog.
yeah, bro. Come on now. Either way, man. I mean, it's exciting, man. It's exciting, but we have to sit here and hold our excitement in because, yeah, I mean,
Can't
we're
contain it
not
much
there yet.
longer.
We're
I
not
can't-
there yet. I know. I've been sitting here waiting to. I see Deshaun Watson making no-look passes, man, and I just want to see it.
I'm having
done.
a hard time. A real hard time. Real hard time.
I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer us Cleveland fans can hold on waiting for this season, but
It's not
we're-
much longer.
Phew, I know, man. I know.
We will be there before you know it. I definitely intend to visit a few more Guardians games. I
Oh,
intend
yeah.
to go to a couple Browns games, of
Mhm.
course. I always make my semi-weekly appearance at Cleveland Brown Stadium once the season starts.
Oh yeah.
I'll be down at Ohio State plenty, so there may be another show where we have to record it a little early.
Oh, come on now. It's all right. It's okay.
We'll see.
We're-
We'll see. Actually, you know what? No, because I won't be down there. Because I wouldn't be down there on a Sunday night. If anything, I'd be home by Sunday. So never mind. Forget that. Scrap it.
Yeah, scratch that, brother.
Whatever.
You should go down. I'm going down to Columbus in the end of July, or end of August. Sorry,
Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too.
to go see the man.
The man. The man.
I'm going to see the man. Yeah.
Man Hoff.
Yup. Yep.
What?
Yep.
Well, I'll be down. I'll for sure be down there. So if you're down there at the same time I am, I'll pull up.
You better come stop by. Maybe
Columbus
we'll
is always a time and a half.
Oh, absolutely,
I love
absolutely.
visiting.
Chat. What's going on, guys? Come on, let's get active here.
Is chat active or are they slacking?
We're no chat slacking right now. We need chat to get active.
Chat, what are
Chat,
we doing?
listen. We need energy, man. If I'm doing a reaction, I need energy. I need people, and I need energy because I'm not gonna sit here in front of nobody and just sit here and watch stuff by myself. All right, chat. I'm watching it with you guys, or we're not watching it at all. All right, I'm sick of it.
Has anybody added or said anything yet?
No, we got a bunch of people that are all sitting there with their thumbs out. Let's go, guys.
Or
Come on, we are a sports show. It doesn't even have to be about sports. Let's talk about something at this point. I don't even care. Let's go, chat. Step up. Get better.
Get better.
You guys want a reaction channel or what? Like, come on.
So, until reactions start, I mean, is there anything else necessarily you wanted to discuss?
Travis Bazzana hit a grand slam today, guys.
Yep.
His first home run was a grand salami. So, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, this dude wants to play in October, and I want to see him.
Yep.
But
that was the thing, because I said something when he got drafted. I was like, man, imagine if we'll see him this season. Everyone was like, no, we're not seeing him this season. No.
Come on, Chad. We're seeing him this season. We're going to see him this season.
I don't know.
We're going to see him. We're going to see him. He's going to he'll be in AAA by the end of August.
I agree.
By the end of August. I mean, he'll be in AA in a couple weeks. I wouldn't even be surprised.
That reminds me, I need to find out when he gets called up to Rubber Ducks. I gotta go see a game.
We gotta go to a game. We should 100% go. We should 100% go. I mean, you could still go to Lake County, to be fair. We could go.
Dude, yeah, but imagine just going down the road.
I know, going to Akron.
Get a banana.
Going to Akron.
Into the bleachers.
Yeah, and we definitely got to go fast before he's not there anymore because once again, I think he's not gonna be there for that long. So we will definitely have to go catch a game. I was actually just thinking about going to go catch a game because I want to go see what's going on down there.
Oh, really?
I always love to see what's going on down in the AAA, AA ball clubs.
Yeah, I've never been to a AAA game. Been to double and single, but
I've been to single, double, and triple. But I've been to the most AA. Obviously, the Rubber Ducks are close, so.
The Rubber Duckies.
Can we do like? Isn't that insane that they used to have a completely different name that we knew about and we grew up with, but like it feels like we didn't.
I totally agree.
Like, yeah. Is that like we had the Akron Arrows, chat. The Akron Arrows for so long.
Which I don't even know so much of why they were called the Arrows, but I mean, to me, it makes sense with the Guardians being named the Indians, and then I don't know. Maybe that's a little too much out of me.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dom. You might get canceled for that, but
I know.
Hey, yo, where's the gabagool?
Don't clip me.
Nah, clip him, chat. Clip him. That's BS. That's BS. He is racist.
I didn't mean it that way.
All right, chat.
I'm just saying.
Chat, listen.
Just saying.
I'm actually about 5 minutes away from calling all of my friends and forcing them to watch shit with me on Reaction Channel. So you guys better make sure that doesn't happen. I don't want to terrorize my friends at 10 p.m. Okay, chat? All right? Don't make me do that. Don't make me feel like a bad person.
I think it's only fair.
So we need you guys. We need you guys to step up clutch so I don't call my friends at 10 p.m. I believe in you guys.
If you'll excuse me for one moment, Mr. Alex.
What do you mean, excuse you for one moment? What do you want?
I have to use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Everybody say bye to Dom.
Well, as people continue to roll in and maybe we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, let's go, Dom. I need you to participate in this too. Get the stories active. Get the people going. We need viewers. I wanna sit here and react I want to sit here and laugh with people for the next like hour. I'd be okay
Wow,
with that.
hour. All right, give me a sec.
You don't have to be here. You can just be watching. I
Well,
don't
that's
care.
right. I watched on Sunday.
You did. You did. You
I
were a
was
part.
active.
You were still active. If you want to still be active, I will sit here. Don't worry.
Wonderful. I've
But
if
you
I'm the
better.
only one, if
But
I'm
you
the only
better
one in the
plug.
stream, that's all I care about.
You better plug. You better get me going.
I do
You
plug.
better get me going because if I'm reacting for the next whenever I decide to do it, then we're going in crazy. I'm
100%.
I'm sitting here and we're reacting to the dumbest shit ever. I don't care. It was fun last time.
100%.
The Josh Giddey highlights went crazy.
They did. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I gotta use the bathroom.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Chad, he's gone finally. Jesus. All right. What's going on, guys? How are we feeling? How we doing? It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's Wednesday night. The Guardians didn't play today. It was depressing, but nonetheless, we have a full day. We have a day full of adventure, a day full of non-stop packed action. I mean, it's beautiful out here, fellas. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. And to be honest with you guys, I'm just sitting here wondering to myself, when the tides are turning, when the table turns tide. All right, let's see here. Let's see what's popping off, man. Let's see what is popping off here, guys. Chat, I mean, whatever we're trying to react to, guys, whatever we're trying to react to. Dom is still in here, so we will close out this show with Dom at some point here soon, but within the next 20 30 minutes we're going to be reacting. It's going to be reaction time. So everybody drop your comments on what we're reacting to tonight. Let's get a good list, and once Dom is gone, it'll just be us. We'll be reacting. So drop your comments, guys. Get your reactions down below. Let's go. Let's run this up. I want good suggestions. I don't want any of that weak stuff. I want good suggestions. But nonetheless, guys, I mean, shoot, we're just waiting on Dom to come back. I'm sitting here. I'm ready to go. I'm wired. Once again, right after Dom goes, we're gonna run like a quick 5 minute intermission, and then we're right back to the reaction channel for the rest of the night. I might end the stream and then go live again. I haven't completely decided on that yet, but I might end the stream and go live again just so it's a different stream and we can change it up, make it the reaction channel, and we can sit here and we can just talk. We can vibe it out. Maybe we can get some extra people in here and we can start cooking. So yeah, chat, spam it out, spam it out. Here's Dom. Dom is back in business. But
Hey everybody, I'm back.
yeah, yep. I was just telling him. I said I might end the stream and restart the stream as like the reaction part, so I can change the title and I can change the thumbnail and I can.
Man, I wish there was a way we could do that like seamlessly
What do you
without
mean?
having to
Oh,
like
and
without
the
having
trans.
to end it.
No, I mean I know, yeah, I could, but
I mean, I like that idea though. It would work.
yeah, I can't.
Then,
I don't think I can.
then if anybody has notifications on, and maybe they were watching earlier and clicked off, they'll get that noti and they'll see, oh, no reactions.
Nah, yeah. I mean, we'll plug it and it'll be more of a video reaction kind of thing where it's late at night. I'm not expecting many
Right,
eyes, but nonetheless, if I could get a couple people in here, we can get a good little vibe going tonight. I'm down for a good 30-45 minutes of reaction streams, depending on how it goes. Yeah, but I am gonna plug up.
I do want to say, with you ending the stream though, I mean, like reactions though, that's something that like is different. So I mean, if people see that, they may click onto it and just be like, "Oh, cool, reactions."
No, and that's the thing. That's why I'm not gonna just be reacting to. This will be a little bit off the Cleveland sports only kind of gig that we got going. We'll react to anything. I'm in on all kinds of reactions. Obviously, we'll keep it to the tune of sports to a degree, but yeah, I mean, I'm 100% down. He said here for the reactions. We're here for the reactions. We're live. All right, listen, chat. Listen, chat. We're gonna be reacting here in probably 15 minutes. I would call it 15 minutes. We're gonna end this stream. I'm gonna plug. I'm gonna plug up. I'm gonna throw some stuff out on the socials. We'll see if we get any people in the reaction. Everybody, make sure you click the notification bell. If you are in here right now, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Dom will be in there talking. I already know it. Dom will be in there participating. I'll be here. I'm going to start a new stream when I come back. Different title. I'll try to go make a thumbnail in like 20 seconds. And I will have the stream back up at 10:15. I'll call it, depending on how, if we can end this in the next 5 minutes, 10:15 to 10:20, I will be live again for 40 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, however long, whatever happens. I'm in for it all. I don't care. I got to work tomorrow, but we don't care. We don't care. I don't got to wake up that early. I'm live in action. If we're up tonight, Chad, all right? So let's get this rolling.
Let's chat, chat.
Let's chat. Let's chat. All right. For this stream, as it goes, for the sports show, that has been it. You already know it has been your co-host, Alex Hunt, Dominic Pagura. We were live once again with all of your Cleveland sports news. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, comment some suggestions down below. We appreciate everybody who tuned in today. You guys are all a blessing. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We got another good amount of likes. Got a couple subscriptions in there today. We appreciate all the love. The social medias have been absolutely popping off recently. Don't forget I'll put them up on the screen right now. Don't forget, leave a like, follow the social medias, The Daily Dose, the same way it's spelled on YouTube. The only difference is TikTok has a 6 next to the 3. You got AA Hunt, 2 underscores. Follow me on Instagram. And don't forget to give Dom a follow. Dominic_Pagura. Also on the IG. We love you guys. It has been another real episode with you. We will be back Sunday live again. We will give you the time and all of that whenever we find out, just as well as
Might be early.
Might be early.
Might be early.
It might be early. Might be late. We'll see. But hold on, let me get it so you guys can see our beautiful faces one more time before we get out of here. We love you guys very much. Do not forget, go check out the socials, leave a follow, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, put those notification bells on so you see when I'm live in 10-15 minutes, chat. 10-15 minutes. I will be live. We're doing some reactions for the rest of the night. Be there or be square. We love